Welcome into the latest edition of the Huddle Up Podcast. I am your host, Taylor Sharp, and on this podcast, we talk all things related to NFL football. And we got two pretty big games to recap, the NFC Championship, the AFC Championship. Let's get into it right now. All right, look, we're going to start with the NFC Championship because that was kind of the appetizer, the hors d'oeuvre, if you will, right? That was the game that everybody said, okay, Eagles, Commanders, really good matchup because they're both in the same division of the NFC. So it's an exciting game, but everyone was looking forward to Bills Chiefs, right? And rightfully so. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes on prime time on Sunday night. It doesn't get much better. As far as Eagles Commanders go, the final score, not exactly close. I mean, the Eagles blow the doors off the Commanders, 55-23 final score in a game where the Eagles look so ready to play from start to finish. I mean, it only took them a handful of plays to score their first touchdown, 7 rushing touchdowns in that football game. And that was kind of the story coming in, right? Because, look, we all know how excellent Jayden Daniels has been all season long. I mean, far and away, I don't think there's any question about who's going to be the NFL Rookie of the Year this season. It's number 5 for the Washington Commanders. It's Jayden Daniels. The biggest issue most people had going into this game was, hey, will the Cinderella story end here? And if it does, is it going to be because of that suspect running game that ranks, depending on where you look, sometimes the bottom 5 of the NFL? Pair that with a really good Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, a Jalen Hurts that, while hobbled, will still beat you with his legs, and then the best running back in the NFL, Saquon Barkley, who had been in MVP conversation all year long. That wound up happening. I just mentioned the 7 rushing touchdowns. I mean, Saquon scored on a 60-plus yarder. Their first drive of the game, they really never looked back. When he got tired, they put in Gainwell. He had solid yardage. Will Shipley broke a long run. He hadn't even played that much this year. I mean, Philadelphia did whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted on the offensive side of the ball. And that helped Jalen Hurts because we've seen him since he's come back from these injuries, right? He's been a little shaky in the passing game, but because the Commanders' defense had to scoot up and have so much help in the running game, he was able to find A.J. Brown. He was able to find Devontae Smith, these little sideline passes. Dallas Goedert is a monster after the catch. He has been all year. He was able to make these short, simple, easy throws. He didn't have to do anything crazy. And when you simplify things for Jalen Hurts, when you say, hey, go out there, let your play do the talking, be athletic, make plays for us, he's one of the best in the NFL to do that. Where he struggles is really standing in the pocket, scanning the field, throwing these long passes down the field. But when you can pick and pop your way down the field with the support of an elite running game, it's no question why Jalen Hurts had such a good game, and it's no question why the Eagles dominated this one. Going in, I know most people, like myself, were probably pulling for the Washington Commanders to win this game just because that's a franchise that's been so poorly run. They've had so little success here in recent years. And you like to see the rookie quarterback. You like to see what the next big thing in the NFL is. It looks like that's Jayden Daniels. You know, they came in, they played the 3 seed in Tampa Bay on the road, beat them. They played the 1 seed in the Detroit Lions on the road in Detroit. They beat them. Then they had to play the 2 seed. So they had to play the top 3 seed. So if they would have made it to the Super Bowl, no question about it, they would have had the toughest road to get there. But it was just one of those things where doesn't really matter how you felt in your heart. In your head, you know, the better, the more talented team won that game. There's really no question about it. I thought that the defense for the Eagles was really, really good against Jayden Daniels. Daniels had some success early on, but, you know, he's been able to carve up these defenses, 8-yard passes here, 10-yard passes here. That's how he beat the Buccaneers, and that's how he beat the Detroit Lions. Clean, mistake-free football, just picking and popping your way down the field. The Eagles really limited what he could do. Now, you know, he still made plays, but he wasn't quite able to get into that rhythm because of the pass rush that Philadelphia put on him all night long. I thought they did a really good job defending Jayden Daniels, who had been playing probably as good, if not better, than any other quarterback in the NFL playoffs. So that's Eagles Commanders. Shifting to the big game, the controversial game, if you will, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, a game where everybody said, hey, is this Buffalo's year? Josh Allen is playing at an MVP level. He's right in the thick of that award. Is this the year he gets it done? He's elevated his play to another level. Personally, I thought this was going to be the year. I was wrong, obviously. Kansas City 32, Buffalo 29. So a 3-point victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, different year, same story. Kansas City is such a hard team to beat. You have to be perfect. And even when you are perfect, it doesn't matter against the Kansas City Chiefs. They always find a way to win close games. We'll get into the controversy and the calls and the referee, but I just want to look at the game as a whole. And I kind of want to look at Buffalo first because they're obviously on the heartbreaking side of this thing. Josh Allen played his butt off. He fumbled the ball a few times, but he did not turn it over. They were able to jump on those fumbles. Teams in the playoffs that have scored 4 touchdowns or more with no turnovers all time are 85-6. The Buffalo Bills are 2 of those 6 losses, both to the Kansas City Chiefs the last 2 times they played them. It's heartbreaking. I don't really know what else Buffalo can do because you can say, well, they got to get Josh Allen more weapons. Well, hell, they were in the AFC Championship game right in the thick of things, had an opportunity to win that game with not that many weapons. They have a stud at running back now in James Cook. We can go ahead and call that. James Cook's a top 15 running back in this league, maybe even higher than that. So you got to feel for Josh Allen. You got to feel for the Buffalo Bills because this is a team like, are they the most haunted franchise in NFL history? They went to 4 straight Super Bowls. We all know about it. We've seen the documentaries. They lose all 4. 4 straight Super Bowls, 4 straight Super Bowl losses. Then they can never get back there, right? They're in the dark ages. They're at the bottom of the NFL for so many years. They finally hit on a quarterback in Josh Allen, and he cannot get past the Kansas City Chiefs. They lose heartbreaker after heartbreaker after heartbreaker in the playoffs to the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. You got to feel for Josh Allen. You got to feel for the Buffalo Bills fans. As far as the game goes, quite a few calls people were talking about, and boy, were they big ones. We'll start with the 4th and 1 QB sneak. Personally, I thought Josh Allen got that spot. I thought they gave him a bad. I'm not so much worried about the replay when they went to replay to challenge the spot and not giving him the spot. That is a hard call to overturn. What I am more concerned about is the fact that the referee on the near sideline that saw Josh Allen extend that ball or hold the ball in his left arm falling down, he had the better angle. He marks Josh Allen as a first down. The ref on the far side of the field was the one that marked Josh Allen a yard short. They went off of that spot. So again, looking at it on replay, it's one of those replays where whatever the call on the field is, it's going to stand because there's not enough evidence to overturn that call. I had an issue with going with the referee's spot on the far side of the field that could not clearly see Josh Allen over the referee on the near side who had a perfect line of sight, Josh Allen right down that first down mark. That was my biggest issue. I did think he got that first down. But let's talk about the play calling here real quick because Buffalo's not out of it. I get it. Everyone thinks Kansas City is going to get all the calls. I understand that. They certainly had a lot of them go their way. Stop calling a QB sneak behind the left guard. Joe Brady, Sean McDermott, whoever made that call, quit doing it. Because it's not like, oh, this is our play. This is our guy. It works time and time again. We're going to go for it. They were 0 for 3 in that game, and that was the 3rd one. They tried it twice down by the goal line, got stuffed both times. Then what are you going to do in the biggest play of the game? We're going to run the same exact damn play that we hadn't been able to convert on all night. We're going to run it again. You can't do that. James Cook was carving up this defense. Just turn around and hand it to James Cook. Far too many times, head coaches, offensive coordinators, whoever the play caller is, tries to be the smartest guy in the room. They're saying, hey, everybody expects James Cook to get, we're going to do this. Just do what got you there. And I get it. That's Josh Allen. But James Cook is the hot hand. They can't stop him. Turn around, hand it off to him, let him follow his blockers. Every time they ran that QB sneak, the one time it worked was Josh Allen straight over the center when he jumped over the top and extended the ball. That's the only time that play worked. Every time he took a step, half a step back, right there behind the left guard. And you could see the Kansas City defense. Every time it was 4th and half a yard, they scooted their entire defense over to the left-hand side of that Buffalo Bills offensive line because they knew exactly where the ball was going. Buffalo could see it. They didn't adjust. They didn't call a timeout. They didn't call an audible, nothing. They just ran their play, and it didn't work. So while I feel for Buffalo, I think the refs kind of screwed them on that spot. It's kind of on you for calling the same play over and over. Get a little bit of creativity. I'm not saying do something crazy on 4th and half a yard, but you're going against a Kansas City defense led by Steve Spagnuolo, who, in my opinion, is the best defensive coordinator in all of the NFL. You know Spags has done his homework. You know he knows you're going to do this. You can see the defense shifting. Call something else. Stop trying to be so damn stubborn and so hard-headed and putting your team in a position to fail. You did not put them in a position to succeed. You knew that play was going to fail from the start, and you continued to run it time and time again. You could not get out of your own way. Now, I get it. Everyone's talking about the spot on that fourth down. I had a problem with them marking them short on third down. If you go back and watch, Josh Allen hits Dalton Kincaid on about a 7-yard route. It's 3rd and 10. Kincaid, when he's falling down, his knee is not touching. He is on top of a Kansas City defender, and he extends the ball just before that elbow touches. Dalton Kincaid got that first down on the third down play. They never should have ran it on that fourth down. They shouldn't have had to. Now, again, that's on Buffalo for not throwing a challenge flag out there, calling a timeout, something to slow that game down to where they could challenge the spot of that ball. Again, that's a coaching error. There were a lot of coaching errors by the Buffalo Bills in that game. Credit Kansas City. Credit Patrick Mahomes. Look, as good as Josh Allen played, Patrick Mahomes was just as good. He had that one fumble early in the second quarter. Outside of that, he was pretty much perfect. And this is without their normal Mahomes-Kelsey playoff, if you will. Travis Kelce, 2 catches for 19 yards. He found Xavier Worthy. He got DeAndre Hopkins involved. He got all of his weapons out there. Hollywood Brown made a couple catches. Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco. This was a team effort from the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes' ability to run in this game was big for him. He scored a touchdown on the ground and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And if you would have told me, hey, Patrick Mahomes had more rushing yards in the AFC Championship game than Josh Allen, I would have said no way. There is no way that happened. But it did. So credit Kansas City. I get it. We could go for an hour talking about all the missed calls. And I'm one of those people who's like, you cannot leave it in the referee's hands. And Buffalo did, because they did not fully capitalize on their opportunities. I mentioned the bad play calling. How about this? You give the ball to Josh Allen, 2 timeouts, 3 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Go win the game. You're down 3. Go down there, at least tie it. Try to go into overtime. Had a chance to do that, and you did not do it. So did they miss the third down? Did they miss the fourth down? Were there a couple pass interferences that they missed? Was the Xavier Worthy catch inside the 5 actually a catch? Was it an interception? Did it hit the ground? Kansas City's at home. Kansas City's going to get all the calls. You have to understand that going into games like this. What you have to do is when you have an opportunity to take control of this game and put good teams away, you have to do it. You have to put good teams away. They gave the ball to Josh Allen. I am a huge Josh Allen fan, probably a bigger Josh Allen fan than most people. You gave him the ball, 2 timeouts, 3 minutes and 37 seconds, down 3. You did not convert. You did not convert that fourth down. Now, everyone's talking about Dalton Kincaid dropping the ball. I want to know why he didn't just take 1 step forward. It would have hit him right here. Because he had to go a little low for it. Take a step forward, catch it. It hits you right there in between the 8 and the 6. That was another miscue by Dalton Kincaid. But again, you have to make winning plays. That's what makes Kansas City so good. I get it. The referees may be on their side. You can talk about that. You could say, oh, well, this team gets lucky. They get lucky a lot. You sure? You sure it's all luck? They get lucky a lot. Let me tell you what Kansas City does. They may not be the flashiest team. They may not have a ton of weapons on the outside. You have a quarterback that can play this game better than anybody in the NFL. He rarely makes mistakes. You have a top 5 defense in the NFL, and you are well coached and disciplined enough to when a game-winning play needs to be made, Kansas City makes game-winning plays. Buffalo did not. So all the controversy surrounding this game, feeling bad for Bills fans, I can understand that. I can appreciate that. There's a chance some of it's even true. But let's not give any blame on the Buffalo Bills. They deserve plenty of criticism in this game. There were plenty of errors they made. They left a lot of points out there. The play calling, I thought, was really bad throughout the game. And you had the ball, 4th quarter, 3 minutes to go, chance to go win the game. You didn't do it. You did not convert on 4th and 10. That's on you. Kansas City Chiefs had a masterful defensive game plan for that final drive, and it paid off for them. Buffalo looked unprepared for that last drive. Kansas City did not. You have a superior head coach, and you have a superior play caller. When you're at home, you're projected to win. That's always something else that's going to be in your favor. So look, obviously a lot of thoughts on the AFC and NFC Championship game. We'll be back later this week. We'll preview the Super Bowl a little bit. And there's a lot of new head coaches in the NFL. We'll talk about it, who I think is the best hire and the worst hire. That's all coming up next on the next episode of the Huddle Up Podcast.